Joining us from Coconut Creek, Florida is the, are you still the interim champ, Colby? What's your status?
I'm officially now the People's Champion and America's Champion.
Fair enough. Wait, okay. Then is Donald Trump not America's champion, or are you guys co-champions?
No, we're co-champions, but Donald Trump's the great American winning machine.
Got it. Okay. All right, man. Let's figure out what happened here. How did it come to be that Tyron Woodley is fighting at UFC 235 against Kamaru Usman when you came on this show, I think just a few weeks ago, and told us you were ready to go at 235? What happened, man?
Shit, man, I'm still trying to put the pieces together and figure out why it happened, but I think there's some things going behind the scenes that people don't know about yet. So I guess some managers have a little bit more pull than other managers, and UFC wants to devalue their product. I'm the number one fighter in the world. I have a belt that got wrapped around my waist by Dana White. I was promised November for Madison Square Garden with Woodley. I was promised January in California with Woodley, which they ended up canceling the show for. And then all of a sudden, Woodley's healthy for March 2nd, and I'm getting passed up for a guy behind me. And I could understand if that guy behind me was like a bigger draw, maybe he does bigger numbers, but it's not even close. He doesn't even compare to me in terms of numbers. The guy's coming off eating my sloppy seconds, and the guy just beat two guys that are coming off losses. So the guys that shouldn't even deserve a title shot. But, if the UFC wants to dumb up their fans and devalue their brand, so be it. They're going to burn their own flames.
Let's walk it back a little bit. We spoke, again, about a few weeks ago, and at the time what we were waiting on was to figure out how healthy Tyron Woodley was, because if he was healthy enough, you two were going to fight at 233. I guess he had some wrist issue, so then they were going to bump it back to 235. From that point, when did you figure out that this was not trending in your direction?
I never thought that it wasn't trending in my direction. I know that Woodley was refusing to fight me, and he didn't want to fight me, and he kept delaying the inevitable that I'm going to whoop his ass just like I did at American Top Team. But, all of a sudden, just one day, everything swept from under my feet without any notice. They kind of they didn't give me any heads up. They just pretty much screwed me, plain and simple. And really, they're not just screwing me, they're screwing their fans, man. I mean, all their hardcore fans that have been buying their products since Matt Hughes fought Sean Shirk back, who knows when they sold 40,000 products. All those fans that have built this company that's helped it rise to the $4 billion company that it is today. I mean, they're shitting on all those fans. They're shitting on the rankings. They're shitting on everything. And it's just not fair, but it is what it is. That's life.
How did you find out?
I find out through my manager, Dan Lambert. He said, hey, man, this ain't right. We tried to get sit-down meetings with Dana White. We tried to get sit-down meetings with UFC brass. Hey, let's talk this out, man. Like, this can easily be resolved. Let's just figure it out. You give everybody else meetings. I'm the one person they will not give a meeting to. So, that's unjust as it is. It's unfair to me that they wouldn't give me their meeting and hear my reasoning of why is this happening to me? I just want a face-to-face with one of those guys and then tell me, why are you not getting this fight? And explain to me the reasoning and have valid points.
Now, you mentioned that some people have powerful managers, but you've got Dan Lambert, right? I mean, that guy almost bought the UFC. He's no small fry. So how is he not able to influence this to the point where you get the fight?
Yeah, it's pretty sad, man, because Dan's one of the most influential managers / gym owners in the game. The guy, passed up buying the UFC and let Dana White buy the UFC back then. And, the guy, he's had so many champions through American Top Team. He has the new double champ, in Amanda Nunes. He's got so many fighters in his stable, and he continues to produce some of the best talent the world's ever seen in mixed martial arts. And that just shows that if he can't get the job done for me, when I'm number one in the world, I have a belt wrapped around my waist. I did something that no fighters ever did in the history of the sport, go to the White House and hang out with the sitting president. If he can't get that done, and when this is already a blockbuster built-up main event between me and Woodley, it helps loss for all these other fighters. Think about all these other fighters, Luke. Think about these middle-of-the-road fighters that are working their way up. They're being promised certain things. If I can't get a title shot when they promised me a title shot, all hope's lost for all these other fighters. I feel sorry for them.
just to clarify, if they called you and said we change our minds, can you fight at UFC 235? In terms of your health and your readiness, you could do that.
Absolutely. I was ready to fight in January in California and fight Woodley then. I was ready to fight in November. You know, the only time I couldn't fight, Luke, is back in September in Dallas. But I couldn't fight because they offered me the fight on 6 weeks, and I was already getting nose surgery. I couldn't breathe out of my nose. I had mucus, blood draining down my nose into my lungs. I mean, I was at literally 30%. I was fighting RDA, not even at my full potential. So all I did is ask for an extra 2 months instead of 6 weeks because they backed themselves in a corner in a matchmaking hole. And you know, now they're trying to hold this against me. But I find it funny because, you know, Dana White's tone, he changed his tone real quick. He was like, he heard from the UFC doctors, you know, Colby's not cleared. He can't fight in September in Dallas. You know, and then he changed his tone. He's like, after the Woodley-Till fight, he was like, okay, Colby's 100% fighting Woodley next. That's the next fight to make. And then all of a sudden, everything's changed. Now they're trying to hold it against me. Oh, Colby's not taking fights. That doesn't fly in the UFC, blah, blah, blah. But let's be honest, Dana, you don't got the balls to release me. If you're saying all this stuff to the media, then release me. But you ain't got the balls.
So it appears
too valuable.
It appears your relationship with Dana has fractured a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we never really had a relationship, you know. I brought him to the White House. You know, I did some things so the UFC could go to the White House and put their little on their documentary, UFC in short 25 years, and they're with Trump and stuff. They wouldn't have went there if I didn't win this belt and asked to go there and call my shot. So they should be thanking me for that. But besides that, you know, me and Dana White have never had a relationship. I've never once talked to him on the phone. I leave him to talk to my manager, Dan Lambert. I'm focused on training every day, Luke. I'm focused on the process, on the evolution of me as a fighter. I don't care about all the political stuff, all the stuff that goes behind the scenes. All I care about is fighting. You know, I'm not here to fight for money either. I don't fight for money. Every time the UFC offers something, I just take it. I've never asked for more money. Not one time in my career. I fought Damian Maia for 30 grand. I mean, the number 2 guy in the world, I was fighting for 30 grand. So I don't care about money. It's not about the money. I'm in this to be the best fighter in the world, to put on entertaining shows, and to please the fans. That's what it's all about, is the fans, and they're shitting on all their fans. So, you know, it's just, it's sad. You know, they want to fool the people and think that they can pull this fast one on the people, but really they're just pulling a fast one on themselves.
So what do you think is going to happen at 235? Who wins, Woodley or Usman?
Woodley for sure. You know, Usman's a scrub, man. He's not relevant. No one cares about him. You know, people don't want to see him fight. You know, he hasn't even beat a guy in the top 10 that's coming off a win yet, Luke. You know, I mean, the guy's beaten 2 guys that are shells of their former selves because I left those guys in pool of blood. I retired those guys. Those guys, I took their souls. They don't want to fight no more. They're done. After they lost to me, they hung it up. They're like, I'm done. I'm just going to take a couple checks and ride off into the sunset. So, you know, it's not going to be competitive. You know, Woodley's going to run through them, and then we'll see what happens next. Who knows? They're probably going to try and screw me again and pass me up for someone else. But the thing is there's no one else, Luke. There's no one else at the top of the mountain. I'm the only one up here. Who else is there?
Yeah, this puts you in a really weird position. So do you wait for the winner of that? Do you take another fight? Have they told you that you get the winner of that? Like, where are you right now?
Where am I is, you know, promises made, promises kept. I'm not taking anything less than a title fight. I don't care who's in the title fight. I'll fight anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm the best fighter on the planet Earth today. No one can stop me, Luke. Mark my fucking words. You heard it here on MMA Hour. I will not be stopped. No one's going to beat me now that I'm 100% healthy, and I'm getting better every single day. You haven't even seen my full potential yet. I'm 30 years young. I still have 7-8 years of competitive fighting to beat all these little soy boys, all these little snowflakes up. So, you know, I'm going to sit and wait till I get what I was promised. And if I don't get what I promised, then, you know, then they're going to have to make a decision. They're going to have to start, you know, I don't know, release me.
You entertain that? Like, you'd be in favor of that if it came to it?
Yeah, absolutely. But they're not going to do it. They realize my value now, Luke. They realize how valuable I am. They know that I sell. They know that every single fighter in the welterweight division wants to fight me. They know that I'm the draw right now at welterweight. I made this division relevant, Luke. The only reason people care about Woodley and care about Usman is because they say my name. I'm the relevant one in the division. No one cares about anybody else. They just want to see me fight anybody. Doesn't matter who it is. So, You know, they're screwing the fans over and they're screwing the people, and the people are who make their business run. So it's a big fuck you to the fans.
You mentioned that Usman has a powerful manager. He does. It's Ali Abdelaziz, who's a very powerful manager, very successful manager. Do you believe that he just has a better relationship with Dana than Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. Ali is a little dirty rat, and you know, he has done some things for the UFC that they owe him favors. So that's the only reason this fight's coming together. This has nothing to do with Snoozman. This has everything to do with his manager. In no way, shape, or form is there ever a time where you put the number 2 fighter above the number 1 fighter when the number 1 fighter is ready to go, and especially when the number 1 fighter has a belt and the number 1 fighter went to the White House. So, and the number 1 fighter does the biggest numbers and is the biggest draw. So, you know, this is a direct result of his manager. You know, he's sucking the UFC off, and the UFC likes that. So they're going to do him favors.
Well, it was, I believe, reported by my colleague Errol Hawani that the reason why they went in a different direction was they just didn't like the fact that you were saying no to anybody but Woodley. And so because Usman was fighting anyone at any time, they said, well, this guy's more accommodating. He also has been, you know, climbing his way through the ranks. Let's just go in that direction. Is that what you had heard at all?
This is what I say to that. No one, like, I haven't heard anything like that. You know, they can say whatever they want. They're just trying to feed the media and the people something because they don't have anything. They can't give them anything, Luke. They can't say because he's a bigger draw, because of this or that, because he's not. He's not a bigger draw. Everybody wants to see me fight Woodley. No one cares about him. They only care about him when he's talking about me. Otherwise, he can't draw 20 comments. No one cares. No one's engaged or interacting with him because the fans just don't care. You know, he's a liar. I'm a man of my word. I'm truthful. Everything I say has been honest, man. I always keep it real, and maybe that's why the UFC doesn't like me, because I keep it real, and they like the shady people, the people that lie to them and that. But I'm not that guy. I'm a trustful guy. I'm a man of my word, and when you give me your word, I'm going to hold you to your word.
You mentioned the surgery and that you had like blood and whatever else going into your lung. Can you give us a sense of what actually the problem was? You actually hadn't talked about that previously on the show. What was the issue, and I guess why did you need surgery for it?
Yeah, I had a deviated septum and I had chronic sinusitis. I mean, it was the worst it had ever been. Like, the doctor by the way, this is not my doctor. This is the UFC doctor. The UFC doctor said, this is the worst case that I've seen in 20 years doing this business. I've never went and had to use 2 machines. I've always just used this one machine in 20 years. You broke this machine with your one surgery, and that's never happened. So as soon as the UFC was pressuring me in that fight, and then they figured out, then they heard from the UFC doctors that how serious this was, that's when Dana changed his tone. He was like, okay, yeah, Colby's getting the next title shot. So this is a serious thing, Luke. You know, I don't fake injuries. I've showed up to every single fight. You know, all I wanted was an extra month or 2 to get ready, to get healthy. I didn't want to go into a title fight not being at my best. You know, I want to show the fans and I want to show the UFC my worth, and I can't do that fighting at 30%. So, you know, also, you know, I was on the phone with Jeff Nowitzki, and you saw it every single day because I'm an honest guy. I'm trustworthy. You know, I'm not like John Jones, who's cheating and failing 3 steroid tests. You know, I was on the phone with Jeff Nowitzki. Hey, man, I need to get a TUE, man. They're putting me on all these antibiotics. They can't figure out what this is. I got to do this surgery, so they have to give me all these medicines, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I was in no shape to fight in September in Dallas. It wasn't going to happen. No chance. So, you know, if you want to punish me for not fighting in Dallas and turning around on 6 weeks' notice when I had surgery and on every antibiotic and cocktail underneath the sun, then that's cool. That's your business decision. If you want to keep fucking up your brand and moving shows from one city to another because a guy failed his 3rd steroid test and he's hitting pregnant ladies hit and run, so be it. You know, I'm the ultimate professional, Luke. Show up on time, make weight, you know, do everything they ask of me, fly all around the country, fly all around the world, do whatever they want, whenever they want. So, you know, no big deal. If they don't want you know, a hardworking, you know, guy like me, then so be it. You know, where's your balls? Show me your balls. If you're so man, you're saying all these videos that you don't need me and I'm not worth anything and this and that, then let me go.
So if they asked you to be on standby, make weight for that welterweight title fight, would you do it?
I'd say stand by on this, bitch.
So suffice to say, a no is the way you would treat that. All right, so look, you're sticking to your guns. Not going to come back to fight unless it's for a title, huh?
Sticking to my guns, Luke. Ain't fighting for anything less than a title. I already got a title, so, I'm already the champ. I'm the biggest draw in the division. These two scrubs and jabronis that are going to be fighting in March, they're going to be calling my name. They only want to fight me. They know who the biggest paycheck in is and who's going to make them the most amount of money for a loss. So, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere, Luke. I'm just getting started. If you think that I've reached my potential, you haven't seen anything yet. I'm still 30 years young and still getting better in martial arts every single day at American Top Team. My best is yet to come. I'm standing my guns. I'm not fighting for anything less than what I was promised and what I deserve, and that's a title shot.
All right, Colby, well, I hope you get it sooner rather than later. I do believe you've earned it. I'm sorry these circumstances have played out the way they have. Thank you for making time for us, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully sooner rather than later.
Appreciate you, Luke. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good day.